What if the greatest test of faith wasn't about believing in God, but about being willing to give up everything you love for something you believe? Today we're exploring one of history's most challenging moral dilemmas: a father asked to sacrifice his own son.
You know what fascinates me about this story? It's not just about blind faith, it's about the raw human struggle between love and duty. The text specifically emphasizes that this was Abraham's only son, whom you love.
And here's what makes it even more complex. Isaac wasn't just any child. He was born when Sarah was 90 years old, after 25 years of waiting. Everything God promised about Abraham becoming a great nation hinged on this one boy's survival.
That waiting period really adds another layer of emotional weight, doesn't it? Imagine finally receiving this miracle child, only to be asked to give him up.
Well, what's truly remarkable is Abraham's response. The text tells us he got up early the next morning to comply. No arguing, no bargaining, just immediate obedience. Though I imagine those 3 days traveling to Mount Moriah must have been excruciating.
Hmm. Speaking of those 3 days, historians believe this location, Mount Moriah, later became the site of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem. It's like this moment became a sacred anchor point for multiple faith traditions.
You know what's particularly fascinating? Isaac was likely a young man at this point, strong enough to carry the wood up the mountain, which means he could have easily overpowered his elderly father if he wanted to resist.
That's such an important detail. This wasn't just about Abraham's faith, but Isaac's as well. He willingly allowed himself to be bound and placed on the altar.
And then we have that dramatic moment of divine intervention, the angel calling out just as Abraham raises the knife. The Hebrew text uses a double imperative here. Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. It's like a desperate shout from heaven.
Well, that reminds me. This story actually contains the first use of the word love in the Bible. Isn't it striking that love is introduced in the context of potential sacrifice?
That's exactly right. And it becomes even more meaningful when you consider how this whole narrative foreshadows another father-son sacrifice. Unlike Abraham's story, there was no last-minute reprieve for Jesus. No ram in the thicket.
The emotional parallels are stunning when you think about it. Both fathers walking with their sons toward sacrifice, both sons willingly submitting, both motivated by love and obedience.
And then the story takes another turn with Sarah's death. Abraham, still processing this intense test of faith, now has to handle the loss of his life partner. But even in his grief, he's thinking about the future.
You know what stands out to me there? The way he insists on properly purchasing the burial cave, establishing legal ownership in the promised land. It's like he's literally buying into God's promises, even in his darkest moment.
That's such a powerful observation. The text tells us he paid 400 shekels of silver, an enormous sum at that time, to ensure everything was properly documented. He's securing a physical foothold in the land God promised.
So, what do you think this ancient story tells us about handling our own moments of testing?
Well, I think it shows us that spiritual growth isn't instant. It's developed through a lifetime of choosing trust over fear. Abraham had already faced numerous tests before this ultimate challenge, leaving his homeland, waiting for Isaac, sending Ishmael away.
That's really encouraging for anyone going through their own faith journey. The idea that each small act of trust builds capacity for handling bigger challenges.
And perhaps that's the most hopeful message we can take from this story, that even our hardest moments can become platforms for discovering something deeper about ourselves and what we truly believe. Abraham emerged from this test with both his son and a profound new understanding of sacrifice and provision.
That really brings it full circle, from testing to testimony, from sacrifice to provision. It's a pattern we might recognize in our own lives if we're paying attention.